Veterans, dedicated VA employees, everybody watching. Hey, welcome back. If you've been here before to the Veteran Lane YouTube channel, where we talk about VA disability. If this is your first time here, I'm glad you came across this video. We're going to answer that very popular question that was on the title there. Get everybody really thinking here. Do I need an attorney for my VA claim? This is going to come from an attorney, and maybe your thoughts are up front are like, oh, he's just going to tell me yes because he's an attorney, and he's going to try to sell me something. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm attorney Matthew Lang, VA accredited attorney, and I'm not a car salesman. So I'm actually going to tell you the answer to that question. And the short answer to that question is maybe. Maybe you need an attorney for your, make sure it's a VA accredited attorney. VA accredited attorney for your disability claim. Maybe you don't, veterans. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Now, I always like to put out there, because there's a team of us really out there. I like to consider us a team, even if I don't know everybody. There's VSOs, there's other accredited attorneys, there's other accredited agents. Accredited agents, VSOs, attorneys, we're all out here with the same mission. We veterans, we want to get you what you're entitled to. We work really hard. I like to think we all do. At least I know I do. Really hard to get you what you're entitled. So I'm not here to leave out VSO counterparts or my accredited agent parts, but being an attorney, I'm going to focus on the attorney piece on this video. But I do encourage still the comments. If there are VSOs out there who, hey, they've got some things to add to this and perspective from their side, I'm all for it. Throw in the comments. I'd love to hear what you got, and share it with the veterans. Maybe help them decide whether they need the attorney. Maybe they need a VSO only. I know on a lot of my phone calls, my consults, I won't hesitate to tell a veteran, hey, I think a VSO would be more beneficial to you than trying to pay me to do this. Not that I can't do it, but it may just be better off that way because of the facts of your case. I'm not against it. So I think it'd be great if we could all kind of share and comment and so forth as we answer this question. So I'm going to stick with just the attorney part. So please no one be offended. I'm not trying to leave you out, but as an attorney, I'm going to focus on that part of the question. So do you need an attorney? As I mentioned, maybe. I want to get into some of the details here as we look at it. I think one reason you're going to want an attorney, veterans, when you file your VA claim, is the complexity of your claim, or the fact that you've got denied claims from the VA. So if your claim has been denied, or you're facing a complicated appeal, for example, and anything can make this complicated. I think it depends on the facts of your case. Not everything's complicated. Maybe we're trying to prove an element. I got veterans of all kinds of different situations back here. Maybe we're trying to prove something that occurred in service that isn't well documented today yet. It took the PACT Act quite a while to come out. Veterans, you've been trying to file claims for toxic exposures and environmental exposures for years, and boy, we're still fighting that fight with as Congress passes more law. So your claim could be complicated because we just may not have a very clear law yet on how to interpret that. So we got to sit back here, get creative, and we got to help you out with that. We got to make that happen. That's the only way these laws, like the PACT Act, do get passed, and we get to that point, is somebody somewhere fought really hard for veterans to make that happen. So attorneys can be beneficial, definitely, in those complex claims you've got, veterans, especially if the VA keeps denying you over and over and over again. And I imagine it gets really frustrating. I know it gets frustrating seeing it from the different perspectives I have here. That you're just like, but they say I have a favorable finding that there was an event in service, and they say that I have a current diagnosis. I don't understand. Well, veterans, that's what we're here for. If it becomes a lot for you and you can't figure out what that next step is, yeah, get an attorney. Let us help you out. Let us read through the decisions. Let us read through the evidence. Let us do all that heavy lifting for you. I find many times veterans are in the process of going, I'm just tired. I'm tired of fighting the VA. I know I should be granted. What do you think? I'm looking for help. Yeah, let's do it. I'm here to take the stress off you if I can, as much as I can. Probably not all of it, but as much as I can. So complex denied claims. Yeah, get an attorney. I say get an attorney. Let's get through what you need. Let's quit fighting the long fight, the big fight here. Let's make it let's get it done. What else do we need here? An attorney for. Hey, maybe you've got a case where you missed a deadline. You didn't respond maybe properly to a VA request for information. I think legal representation can help you there. We can get you back. We can get you back in the process. We'll understand. Oh, well, that was missed. Let's help you get that. Let's help you gather that information. Let's put that together. Let's get what the VA needs and get you back on track and get you the proper forms and stuff filed. Let's get some. I like to give the proper arguments too, a lot of legal arguments to the VA so they understand what the rules are, where we're going, where we're looking at. Just because the claim deadline got missed doesn't mean the claim's dead. Maybe we can still take this back to the effective date to original claim. But this is something I feel an attorney for you veterans can actually sit down and understand a little bit better as we work with this law all the time, every day, 24/7. It's always up here. It's always moving, even if I'm not in the office. So I think it can benefit you as well. What's another benefit to having an attorney with your claim? Why the answer might be yes to this question? Evidence gathering, medical records. I kind of mentioned that already. I mean, think about it. If there's something that needs to be gathered, like for example, maybe we need to start looking in the idea that VA is failing to provide adequate medical examinations or opinions over and over and over and over and over and over again. Well, instead of constantly beating our head against the wall, maybe what we need to do is veterans, us attorneys need to help you with the resources we have. We're out here in the professional world. We're out here talking to the doctors. We're out here talking to all kinds of experts. Multiple different, depends on what field we're working in too. There's always an expert somewhere. I know myself, I'm always reading medical journals and going, okay, where can I find this evidence? I'm always talking to the doctors in the complex around me, like, hey, how can we help a veteran with this? My point is we can help gather a lot of this evidence because we have this professional network typically. In order to help you with that, we can have a medical provider perhaps even intervene, look at your VA file in detail and tell us what their professional opinion is. And maybe ultimately in the end we find out it is the VA who's struggling and we're not wrong, and we can go ahead and get you that evidence you need. So an attorney, I think, is great in that case too. When you get stuck in a spot where you need some additional evidence, I think we have a good network where we can usually find a way of gathering that evidence for you in the process. Maybe you need some help getting some evidence from an old provider you had. We'll figure out what the forms are. At least I will. I'll figure out what some of those authorization forms are. We'll get them. We'll get you to sign them. We'll get the records from them. If for some reason you're just having troubles doing it. My point is we're resourceful. We can be resourceful. We can rely on our network of other professionals to help us out. So I kind of mentioned this one too. Here's another good reason veterans I would say yes on an attorney for your VA claim. That's just navigating that appeal process. Like I said, sometimes we hit rules and we hit laws and we don't understand. Why did my effective date not go way back? Should have went all the way back to the date I first filed. Maybe it should have. Maybe it shouldn't have. But who better to tell you than the attorney who, again, is looking at that law 24/7 constantly as it rolls to their mind and reading stuff, keeping themselves educated and updated on what the rules are. We can also take and navigate you from so many levels of the appeal process, veterans. So I know one thing that I have seen from working within the VA that it seems to scare some veterans is when you go, hey, I want a hearing. You start thinking like an actual courtroom and everything really very formal. And what you don't realize is it's not really quite that formal. But you don't want to let your guard completely down. You still want to be able to talk about the rules, the laws, the evidence. And so again, an attorney is a good representative to have there because it may not be quite like a courtroom, but we are skilled and trained in, especially myself, in the presentation of evidence, the presentation of argument, the presentation of testimony. That's what we're trained to do. That's what we're here for. So perhaps along the appeal process, we navigate you through that hearing as well. I've had some veterans just call me up and say, hey, I went to the BVA on my own, the Board of Veterans Appeals, but I request a hearing, and I really want some help with that. I want that you as the attorney to give me some help, and we'll talk. And I have, just to be straight honest. I mean, sometimes that's all you need, veterans, to help that last little navigation, that last little part. Maybe you can do it by yourself up until that part, but having that attorney there to navigate. And I think it's great because to help out even at that point, because again, I can keep things on track. I can keep the conversation moving where it needs to be. I can get a feel for usually what the judge is thinking and the way the judge is responding and asking questions. And I already know the evidence in the file. I can apply that all to the law and make sure, again, the arguments that need to be made are made. So there you go. Navigating the appeal process, veterans. Attorneys are very skilled. The knowledge that we've got, the training we've got, could be extremely beneficial for you. So right there, yeah, you probably want an attorney to help you out with your VA claim. Hey, maximizing potential benefits I put on my list as well. And why did I put that there? Well, I think because a lot of times there are veterans out there who don't understand how certain conditions they may have may still relate to their service, even if it didn't directly occur in service. I know I've got veterans that I talk to where we will go through the whole list of things that are service connected and things that they are treated for. And a lot of times we find there are secondary conditions. The law says, hey, veterans should be service connected for those if the evidence supports it. So we can definitely, again, go through everything. We can see what's going on. It's not uncommon for my team here to go through your claim more than once in detail. Myself, paralegal, my legal assistant, it's not uncommon for us to all go through your file. I know I go through it as well as they do, just for another set of eyes for both of us. So we can definitely maximize potential benefits. Hey, sometimes when we're going through it, what do we find? We find an error the VA made years ago that shouldn't have been made. If they wouldn't have made it, veterans, you would have been getting your benefits much earlier. Maybe you would have got a higher benefit back 5, 10, 20 years ago. But you never would have thought of it because you just didn't know that was the rule or that's the way that worked. You just knew that was the decision at the time. So again, we can maximize potentially your benefits. So I would say, yeah, talk with an attorney. I think the other idea is, though, even though we do have payment involved, one thing is that we can do the contingency fee based, and many times we do, or we try to find myself ways that keep the benefit or our benefit. The services we provide at a fairly low cost to you veterans, if we can. That's usually my goal. Keep it as low as I can. So I don't typically take my contingency fee up beyond the 20% that's been deemed reasonable, because I do want you to be able to afford the services I do provide in the end. So I've given you some stuff where reasons you might want an attorney, because remember, we answered the question with maybe. So that's just some things that I would say leans on the yes side, veterans. If you're facing some of this stuff, yeah, maybe the answer to your question is yes. But what happens if you're faced on the other side? What happens when there's reasons you don't need an attorney? I say there's definitely some good legitimate reasons out there. The first one I've written down here, what if you got a straightforward first time claim? Maybe you got a claim you feel is just really easy. Maybe you've got a claim where you want to file for, I don't know, a knee condition of some sort. It was done in your search records clearly show it was in service. You continued getting medical help after you got out of service for it. It still exists today. I think it's a no-brainer at that point. Now, does that mean you're going to get granted right away? No, BA. Come on, BA. Help us out. There are some mistakes that are still made. Sorry, BA. I don't mean to do that to you. Yeah, there's still mistakes that are made. But you can still have a very simple claim. It could be very straightforward in the end. Everything just lines up perfectly. You just happen to, again, got treated in service. You got treated afterwards. You happen to do all that. The evidence is just all there. It's just pretty straightforward. Maybe you fall underneath a claim for PTSD where the laws made it easier and more straightforward for the VA to grant. And all you really need is a showing of, hey, you were, for example, in a combat zone. You feared military enemy hostile military. It's getting late, guys, when I'm recording this, and I apologize, but you basically feared for your life. Let's put it that way. I normally can get that off. Anyways, maybe that's all it takes, and you just need a VA exam. That puts it all together. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. So if you got that, yeah, why waste your time with me? You don't need me. But now if you go try that and you find out it's more complex than what it is, then yeah, give me a call. Veteranlink.com. Don't forget. we'll have a chat. Get you on my calendar there. And I'll see what we can do. Maybe again, a VSO is maybe the way you need to go. There's no reason to always spend time with me. Maybe you got a strong VSO in your local area that you like. Maybe that others have used and they highly recommend. Yeah. Okay. Go that route. I actually encourage it. I want you to be comfortable with who you work with. So maybe that's why you don't need an attorney, because you've got a VSO who you would rather have work it, who's capable of doing it. Yeah. Like I said, we're all out here helping out, doing the same mission here, wanting to get veterans you the benefits you deserve. So there's that. Maybe you do have some cost concerns, even though I do what I can to keep things low here, with a 20% contingency fee typically, or some other fee agreement that we can work out. Maybe there are still some cost concerns. Do know, again, VSO work is free. They're not going to take 20% of your back pay when the claim has been granted. So if you feel that you really need all of that money in the end, and maybe you do, then yeah, I would say no. I probably went and seek out an attorney first. I definitely look at that VSO range, or try it on your own. Get help maybe from some other buddies. So I get it. Cost is definitely a concern, especially year after year as our economy grows and inflation grows. I got it. So what else we got here? Confidence of the process and resources. Like I mentioned, you don't need an attorney if you are not stressed out yet, veterans, on filing your claim, and you're just not ready to give up. Maybe that's not a good way to start this one. The idea really is you may be already well researched. You may be comfortable with navigating the forms, the deadlines, the requirements of the VA, and I think that's great because that information is out there public. It's out there for everybody. So if you feel comfortable with it, yeah, take a shot for sure. Go at it. File your claim, file the evidence, get your arguments out there. I have seen veterans that are still well versed come to me though with some well written arguments, and sometimes you just need that extra boost. So I'm not saying that you need me for sure on that one, but just know that's a reason. Your confidence with the process and the resources, you've studied up, you're ready to go, you are ready for the fight. You got this. You don't need me. If you're prepared, you don't need me. Like I said, we'll go back towards all those denials and stuff that they happen because the VA keeps making a mistake. If that's truly what's happening, then maybe so. But that's when you want to probably consider throwing me back in the mix. But I'd say if you're confident with the process, you know what you're doing, you filed a claim before, you're winning, keep going. Shoot, keep going. Get the benefits you deserve. Keep educating yourself. I want everybody to be educated in the process. So there's a few things in there. So if you got some cost concerns, you got some confidence with the process, maybe you got a really good VSO and there's no reason to pay an attorney. Maybe it's just a straightforward first-time claim. All the evidence lines up perfectly. Go at it by yourself. You don't need me, or go at it with the VSO. You don't need an attorney. So my answer to the question with that information would be no, you don't need an attorney. I'm going to tell you yes, though, because if you got a complex or multiple denied claims, if you need help with that evidence gathering, some gathering of some medical records, maybe just you need to lean on my resources a little bit. That may be able to help out. We'll do that too. You need help with navigating the appeal process. You get to that point where you need that hearing, and you're just like, oh, now I realize I don't know how to navigate the hearing. I want somebody who can do that for me. Yeah, definitely get an attorney. Let's help you out there. You want somebody who can review your file with more sets of eyes and education, training, and knowledge and experience to find a way of maximizing your potential benefits? Yeah, we're here to do that. Give us a call then. So you want something that's affordable, even if it's not free. We do have those options. We do set that out there with contingency fees and again other affordable fees that we can drum up here. So if those are the things you're looking for, veterans, then I would say you need an attorney for your VA claim. So I wanted to give you more detail. I hope I didn't bore you too much on that one or get too sidetracked, but there's a lot. There's a lot there. I try to keep it down to a bit of a minimum, but the question is not easily answered by any means. Yes and no. You might need an attorney. You might not. Again, everything's public out there. If you're comfortable with it, go at it. But if you're not, yeah, definitely seek some help. If it's not an attorney, definitely look back at the VSOs as well as your credit agents. Let us do what we're here to do and where our passions are, helping out veterans. Let us communicate with the VA. Let's take some of that stress off you if we can, and point out any errors the VA may have made, or helping you understand maybe why that denial was legitimate in the end. Yeah. So yes or no? That's really the question. Do I not? Depends. My favorite legal answer that I learned in law school: it depends. Hey everyone! Hey, thank you so much again for coming back on this another terrific Tuesday. Thank you for watching the video all the way through. If you made it, if not, I guess I can't talk to you because you're gone. But I'm hoping you come back and finish watching it later on. I do enjoy these. Again, please leave comments, likes, shares. Let's talk about something else. Tell me what you want to hear. I enjoyed the recommendations and talking about the things you want to hear as well. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep plugging away back here. We're going to keep doing some additional lessons and talking about VA disability until we get this so smooth. You really don't need me in the end. So have a wonderful week, everyone, and I will see you next Tuesday.